a company that has consulted and given us the lowdown on what is going on in our industry for many, many years. And every year I get a chance to talk to this gentleman. Lubieniecki, how are you? It is great to see you again.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you again.
Tell me what you're seeing at this year's show. Tell me what you're most excited to see at this year's show.
Well, there's a couple things that we're seeing in the marketplace right now. Most of it around, there's two elements. One the data and security was a big deal today.
Yes.
The early sessions were big believers that our clients are a little bit behind in the eight ball there.
Yeah.
And those sessions today were a little bit eye-opening.
Yeah.
Because for us, it's all about the information and it's all around data. That's where the businesses are going. As a service provider, our little piece of the world is working with companies, helping the real estate run better. There's a lot of great applications and there's great tools out there, but at the end of it, it's all information that is at the backbone of that.
Right.
And it's kind of like, I look at it, a few years ago, being able to solve problems, that was the challenge. Now there's a lot of great apps. They can do all kinds of whiz-bang math. They could process millions of transactions. Then BI, the next BI wave came on, and everybody's like, they got crazy. We got BI, we got big data. Big data in real estate. You're like, really? This is, it's kind of a joke almost in some level. It's not a joke because it's perspective to the industry, but we work with some of the world's largest retailers. Big data is we get 10,000 stores giving us transaction information by the minute. That's big data. We're running, monthly reports. It's not so much big data. But the underlying information is the key, and I think where we're seeing industries going right now is they're all saying to themselves, well, we had the BI issue, but boy, getting the right data is harder than we thought. We bought the sizzle, and we didn't realize that those coals are really hot and a lot of work to make that fire, to feed the sizzle on the steak. So the whole thing about getting the right data, the right granularity, the right information, and what's changed is companies are realizing, it's too hard for us to do that ourselves. We're comfortable. Can you provide us? Can you collect that? You're an asset manager. Can you go out in the market and collect everybody's data that we work with? Give it to us. We'll analyze it. We don't want all that messy work. So it's kind of data as service. That's one of the big trends that we're seeing, and a lot of the companies here today, at the show are part of that information. The other part of that, or another trend that we're seeing, is the emergence of sustainability in the investment side. And there's emerging correlation between sustainable buildings. Are they really a better investment? The data's soft right now, but it's getting there that says, wait a minute, there is a correlation of the logic that says, if we pay attention, and if we run our buildings better, they will perform as better invest. The nice part about that is when you have the big capital sources of the world starting to pay attention, they're what's going to fuel this marketplace here because they're saying, wait a minute, that's a way to give us a few hundred bips in performance? Great, we want those tools. We want all these innovative things we're seeing here because that's starting to influence the investment performance, which is what they're interested. They're not in it for the fact of being green matters, but more and more green funds, top performing, or socially conscious, where they're saying, wait a minute, we want a green fund only. And real estate, you better be showing us. So it's like an emerging class that's now gotten big enough that people are paying attention to. And then the third part of that is really, people are like drilling down and saying, well, how do we get that information on sustainability? It's beyond GRESB. It's not just that. If you looked at where data has always been, you always have asset data. You always had operational and financial data. Now sustainability data as almost the third classification. And then the bottom part, what I kind of laugh at is the emergence of the lowly utility bill. Could there be a more mundane piece of information than if you're an asset manager and you have hundreds and hundreds of stores, the lowly utility bill comes in every month, it's got 63 lines, and yet it's the source of high performing assets. So that little utility bill is being reutilized as a source of information. Amazingly, after being nothing but a nuisance to pay,
Yeah.
people are now saying, wait a minute, we've already got all the good information. So that's where we're kind of seeing the market. It's all about what do you do with information? How do you leverage that out? How do we make decisions? Sizzle is great, we can compute like demons. And then the marketplace is saying, all right, so now how do we make, how does critical thinking become part of our analytics? That's what we see.
And so where is the opportunity?
Well, I think the opportunity is in the ability to be able to facilitate companies' critical thinking. Because we're an advisor, and we help companies get the information, be prepared. We like to lock arms with them in strategy, but companies need to provide critical thinking.
Yes.
So we're kind of arming them, and I think when you look at the building technologies, it's all about getting more information. You look at the retail technologies, you want everything about your shopper.
Yeah.
You want to know, are they blinking their eyes twice when they see that item on sale, so
Right.
they know that that's a buy signal. So it's all about collecting it and then being able to utilize it. That's where the opportunities are.
What would you say, from your standpoint, is the highest leverage move, given everything that we talked about today,
Right.
the highest leverage move that these companies and decision makers can make?
I really do fundamentally believe that they need to get the right set of info to be able to affect thinking.
Right.
They got lots of tools to analyze and produce sexy pie charts and analytics on the top.
Right.
But it's like getting the right set of info that will enable critical thinking. Because all the electronics can't do the thinking for people. And you have to change people's mindset of, holy shoot, not just collecting this.
Yeah.
But now, that's where I think that the opportunity for companies is saying, okay, these are great. There's a room full of places that help me get to information that enables critical thinking. We call it critical thinking.
Right.
Like, what do you need to do with that? How can you affect something? Otherwise, you're just reporting on it. And who cares? Well, you care, but the future is forward-looking analytics is where we think this should all go. And the history has always been, let's collect backwards. But it's really thinking about what do we do now that affects the future? Because the kind of arc of, well, now that we can collect yesterday's data, okay, that's just yesterday.
Right.
And if it doesn't show us what tomorrow is going to be, and the forward information, that's where I think people should look at the information. How does it look at the future, not just what happened? That's where we think the industry is.
Predictive analysis as well as reflective.
Predictive analysis, anything that's in that forward arc of, well, this is what happened. Now we're looking at, will that influence future? If I do this, will this action increase value? Will it increase shopper satisfaction? It's that ability to take information, and that's the whole thing in here. There's so many ways to collect or monitor, but if it's all about translating that into the future forward-looking analytics.
If companies want to drink a little more of this wisdom from this well, what are you going to be doing here at the conference, and how can they keep working and staying in touch with what this type of thought leading that you're doing?
Well, we're here. We've got a booth. We're happy to have anybody come by and talk to them because, real estate, we have a simple motto at Real Foundation. We help companies run better. Sounds simple. When you digest it, it's like, ooh, that's a complex problem. Because everybody's got different things.
Yeah.
We're talking, I'm on a globalization panel. We have some investment trends panel. I think one of our team members is going to be talking about all the various sustainability and green reporting, and there's no standards. There's 100 different reports created. What do you do with that? How do you make sense out of, I got to do GRESB, I got to do NACRIF, I got to do this.
Right.
How do you make some sense out of that? And we're trying to take a little bit of the chaff, the noise away, simplify it, and say, focus, move forward.
And will you be doing that at
We'll be doing that here.
Fantastic.
The whole time.
Ed, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, great.
On
Good talking
Conference
to you.
Live. Always so much foresight and wisdom. We appreciate that. Real Foundation's always a great guest.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at the conference.
All righty.
Amazing. That this will be one of the videos I think will be most shared. What Ed just shared with us was some sort of crystal ball type of predictive thinking that you can only get from Real Foundations.